Today's patio chat is being brought to you locally by Westridge Furniture in Delphus. See it all at your finer outdoor furniture store.
Well, keep wildlife wild. Joining us today, she is the Wildlife Communications Specialist with the Ohio Division of Wildlife, Sarah Schott, in to tell us more. And thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me. It's a great day.
It's nice, even though it's cloudy. But, okay, so we are always so caring. We see something baby animal, and we're like, oh, no, something's wrong, or where's the parents? But leave them alone, right? Tell us about this.
Yes, definitely. We tell everybody every spring, this is kind of what we refer to as baby animal season. And it's so exciting. There's a bunch of cute, adorable deer and birds and squirrels and rabbits out there. But we want to make sure that we're leaving them in the wild. They're mothers, their caretakers, those are their best chance of survival. Human intervention is always the last-ditch effort for that animal to survive. We want to leave them in the wild, learning all the things that they need to survive out there.
I assume that they try to hide them a little bit, too, and so it's probably like we just by chance found them, right?
Yeah, different animals have different strategies for raising their young. So a deer is a fantastic example.
Okay.
Fawns, a baby deer, is born actually completely scentless. So that's how they survive. Predators can't detect them by sense of smell. So what the mother will do is she will find a good hiding place. So, maybe a couple feet high grass. Sometimes it's your yard. And she'll tuck her little fawn in a corner of your yard, and then she'll leave. She'll leave for a majority of the day. She'll check in. She'll actually move it around so that it's not in one place. But that's when we could stumble upon it. And if you don't know what's happening, you can look around and see there's no deer around and it's been abandoned. But really, that's its strategy to survive.
Okay, so leave that baby deer alone.
Yeah, leave it there.
What do raccoons and possums and skunks, those kind of animals, do?
Sure. So a lot of those young are, following their mother around. Baby possums are actually quite adorable if you ever have the chance to see them. I personally think they're kind of ugly creatures, but the little babies are quite adorable. Yeah, they're like ugly cute. But the young, when they're small enough, the mother will actually carry them around on her back. So she's just got a whole army of little babies carrying around. And so usually they are close to the mother. And if we see them, we want to make sure we're giving mom and her babies plenty of space. But sometimes, one might get left behind or something like that, and she might go back for it. Other times it could be like a sick one or a weaker one, and it's having some troubles keeping up. But we always want to make sure we're letting nature take its course. We also don't want to get hurt ourselves, so that's also why it's important not to touch them.
I was going to say, I was wondering, I assume these animals are in mother mode, so they're really protective.
Oh yeah. There's nothing more protective than a mother. They are going to do whatever they can for their young. So yeah, some extra space during this time is always a great cautionary.
I know I've got baby birds in my yard. They nest in those, spots by my spout and stuff like that. And when I walk out the door, they're like going crazy. But birds, even Canadian geese, you see a lot of the little babies now. What do we do about them?
Definitely. So geese are pretty mobile. They have their nests, but then once those goslings hatch, they're following their parents around. And that's when you'll definitely see some aggression. So we want to give some space from those guys. They can hiss and get a little mean. But when we talk about robins, cardinals, those things, those young are restricted to that nest. They're not very mobile. And sometimes we'll see if we have some strong winds, or it could be a fellow sibling, a fellow chick pushes somebody out of the nest. And if you see a bird that doesn't have that many feathers, it looks pretty featherless, doesn't look like it can fly, it is okay to scoop it up really quick, and if you can find the nest, place it back in the nest. So kind of look around, see if you can find the nest, scoop it up and put it in there, and then leave it alone, and the mother will come back. It is actually a myth that if you touch a baby bird and get its scent.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I heard. Don't touch them.
Yeah,
it smells like
it's
you.
A myth. We think about birds, most of them don't really have a sense of smell, so they can't even detect that. So as long as you're leaving the area, they're good. But the other thing is, as we move more into summer, we will have what we call fledglings. And those are birds that have almost all of their adult feathers. They look like they can fly, but they can't fly very well. And those birds have actually left the nest, and they're kind of hopping around and trying to get strong enough to fly. So if you pick them up and you put them back in the nest, they're just going to jump right back out. So you kind of just leave those guys alone and just watch them learn.
Okay, all right. Just watch these baby animals if you see them. Don't touch.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for coming today. Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, don't go away. The weather forecast is next.